So we've managed to catch you today at a BBMP office, and therefore we thought we'll have a chat with you on corruption, which is how your party has managed to capture the national imagination in a sense. What ideas though does your party have beyond the Jan Lokpal, which is perhaps an institutional mechanism that will be limited to addressing only corruption in high places? How will you address the concerns of the everyday man who faces everyday corruption?
Yes, I feel that it's a very good thing that we are before the BBMP office, because in fact it relates to the question you've asked. When we are talking of corruption at the local level, then it will have to begin with the local bodies. So the BBMP is one such local body. We find here ward number 94. So at the ward number 94 you will have a corporator, and we feel that immediately after parliamentary elections are over, our next job is to contest for elections in all the corporations, and so catch hold of the corporators and make sure that we have a new type of corporator fighting the election. Why do we say that? We say that because the type of corruption that goes actually not only affects at a national macro level, but also at a micro level. A very common thing that we find in the corporation is the way in which public expenditure is misused. So you'll find every year, in anticipation of the rains, they will pull out the stones and then they will remove the mud and throw it outside the drain. Without carrying away the mud, the stones will be replaced, and with the first rain, the mud will trickle back into the drain. So these are all very sophisticated methods of showing expenditure. There is absolutely no genuine civic service improvement there. This is also true in respect of trying to tar the road, or in respect of if you want a death certificate nowadays, then again you have to pay money, you have to pay bribe. So basic necessities which are to come from the civic bodies, these are not available, and the reason it's not available is corruption has become such a common thing that people think you have to live with it. And we are here in order to challenge that notion.
No, I take the point you make, Professor, but will merely AAP candidates filling corporator seats address that issue? Do we not need a structural solution beyond saying that people with integrity who share our philosophy will now contest elections at every level?
I think that's the reason why we must think of at least 3 tiers. The base tier will be the corporation or the local self-government, the Panchayati Raj. The next will have to be the members of the Legislative Assembly. And the third level is the members of Parliament. So if you have common thinking in respect of all this and a common policy, then we will have to evolve a legal structure which takes care and holds people genuinely liable for corruption.
In your idea, what would that legal structure entail? Beyond an institution that examines public officials, do you have any ideas which are being discussed in the party on how the citizens' concerns regarding corrupt practices and the beneficiaries of corrupt practices can be addressed?
If you take the book that is written by Arvind Kejriwal, you find that there are concrete suggestions about it. The most concrete suggestion is that at every Gram Sabha level, it's the Gram Sabha that will have to decide things. And even the Sarpanch or the head of the Gram Panchayat, he will have to be subordinate to the local body. So the local body will now get completely empowered. This is one thing. The other is officials who are in charge of implementing things at the level of the local body. These officials will also be answerable to the elected people. And so that will be a fundamental shift, because so far they run the roost and they think that they can do what they want. Whereas now in the way Arvind has articulated these ideas in his new book, that gives us an opportunity to tackle it in a better institutional manner.
How do you think, since you're a law professor, I ask you this, how do you think the judiciary will be able to cater to speedy resolution of these complaints if they come up before it? Because as it is, you've been speaking about docket explosion that is burdening our judiciary. If you have corrupt practices investigated that much more, will it not put that much more of a pressure on the judiciary?
That's true. We are happy that the judiciary, through public interest litigation and judicial activism, is picking up some of the important issues. But it simply means that that alone is not enough. We need a statutory framework. We need accountability to be fixed in order to tackle corruption issues. And so in that sense, I think we need a range of legislative changes in order to be able to tackle that.
What would some of those changes be?
For example, today, if you are talking about speedy trial, if you are talking about finding a person corrupt, after that what? Is it enough to put a person in prison? I think we should be in a position to identify how much he has gained, how much ill-gotten wealth has he made from that corruption. and we should be able to attach that property, sell it in public auction, make it known to the people that such and such a government official, not only was he caught in corruption, but these are his assets, and these assets have been confiscated, and we will now put it in a public auction and probably convert that into a place where the public can use the space for an appropriate public activity.
Thank you for your ideas as always, Professor.
Thank
Nice
you.
talking.